So, good evening. Welcome everyone to the Prosperity and Health Alliance. I'm your host, Wade T. Lightheart, broadcasting from the top of the Woodworks building. We're up here in the penthouse, my new office. So, hi everybody. That's the background here. So, living the dream. Thank you very much. We're excited to be here. I want to also give a big shout out to my two co-hosts, Mr. Creel Hutchison and Siha Top. Hey guys.
Hello, everybody.
Back from traveling around the world. We've all been rocking and rolling, as you know, guys. We're literally, what is it now, 6 weeks away from the Enagic Global Convention, and boy, have they got a lot of cooked up stuff. There is bottled enthusiasm at Enagic Corporate about what's coming out. The distributors in the know, the 6A, 2.3s and 2.4s and 2.5s are all like, they're like popcorn, you know, and when the colonels arrive in Las Vegas, man, it's just going to be a real party. So you definitely want to be there. Figure out your tickets, look for shared hotels, look for discount deals, book them now, get in there, stack them, pack them, rack them, whatever you got to do. Get down to the global convention because it's going to be amazing. The tickets are available on enagic.com. You go to the site, you can click on the July convention, you'll see there's a great video, promote it to your teams, get everybody out there, because really the result is when people go to a physical event, we do these digital events every week, which are really important, but when you get people into a physical space and they're going to see thousands of distributors from around the world, it's going to anchor into your team's whole mindset, right into their aura, into their field, and that will keep them amped up for months and months and months, and of course that enough to get to Eric Worre, which is going to be December 1st. And with those two events, you've got your two big ones, kind of a bookmark for the year. Definitely get on it. And speaking about teams and personalities and things, you know, when you're building a big organization, you got to recognize that there's a lot of components go to it. There's the business side of it, and then there's the personality side of it. And I know that a lot of us are asked this question all the time: what makes a good distributor? Or how do I build a good team? Or what are what we can call soft skills that you require in order to make the smoothness of transition so that the business and the business and the water and the structure and the whole thing kind of fits together into this perfect mixture that the person goes, yes, I'm ready, yes, I want this, yes, let's do this. And how do you concoct that? So what I've asked tonight is, I've asked Creel Hutchison is gone out there, and he's going to share what are the characteristics that you're looking for. How do you look for people? And I don't want to say you don't want to prejudge, but when you get one of these people, I'll tell you a quick story. Years ago when I first started out, my sponsor had told me a little secret. I said, how do you find these people that are like these people that go off and build these giant organizations? And he says, I'll tell you, it's the people that call you all the time. First thing, they're motivated, they're taking action, they're asking questions you don't know the answer to. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And that happened with Siha. And two things, actually. And I'll tell another story with Creel, and then we'll launch into this because it's really important. But that happened with Siha. He was asking me a whole bunch of questions I didn't know. So I called up my sponsor, George, and I said, hey, George, you know those guys that you think that they're talking about? I think I got one of those. And he says, yeah, and I told him who he was, and I said, look, can you come out and meet him? And he flew out from Chicago, and he came to Bellingham. He came to Vancouver, and he drove down to Bellingham, and he kind of laid it all out for Siha. And that was one of the greatest things anybody had ever done for me, because it was way out of his count. It didn't, you know, it wasn't going to make him wealthy. It wasn't going to do anything else. But he went and took the time and really laid out something for Siha, who's gone on to do such amazing things in Enagic. And just so you know, guys, on Siha's team, he's probably the most loved distributor in all of Enagic. So when the guy speaks, listen. I can't say that for everybody else, but I can say that about Siha. That's the thing. And then furthermore, I'm going to talk a little bit about, you know, Creel. When Creel was brought to me by a friend of mine, Katrine, and I mean, Creel brought all of these questions and hard questions and really went through this with a fine-tooth comb and the detail level that only he's. Now, Creel and Siha are very different personalities, but they had some specific characteristics that are actually similar. And those characteristics are what's going to take you to success. And tonight we're going to share those with you and how you can go out and find those people and how you can take what you found and teach that to your teams and get your skill set up so that you get your organization growing into those 2 2s and 2 3s and 2 4s and those long range things that you can really happen in this business. So without any further ado, I want to turn it over to my bro, Mr. Creel Hutchinson, the man that's going to put it all together. He had a great party this weekend. Thanks. It was awesome to be hanging with you. It was just great to be in the physical presence with you hanging out. So thanks so much, Creel, and let's hit it.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for once again being on the webinar or checking it out recorded. In network marketing, I kind of feel like there's different subjects that we can talk about. And tonight, I feel like the subject is also leadership. And when you take your business serious, you start to realize that you're a talent scout, or you're a leader and you're looking for talent out in the field. And you're looking to put together an all-star lineup, a team that is built to go the distance and do something really spectacular. Or you're looking to put together a team that's going to flounder and never get to the playoffs. There's all kinds of views. So when you sit back, you're like, okay, I'm a talent scout. I'm a leader. I'm looking for other leaders. And generally, I have seen 2 things happen. You either find leaders or you develop leaders. And when you find leaders, you kind of know because they've got experience, they're motivated, they're coming hungry, or you're going to spend some time, your life energy, to really work with somebody. So I want to cover both of those aspects as we move forward. And let's move it on to the first slide here. So, ideal prospects. Know what you're looking for so you don't waste your time. What is your bucket? I think a lot of people start to prospect outside of really what their ideal zone is, and they start to be in somebody else's territory. And just because someone drinks water, that doesn't mean they're a potential prospect for you. They might be somebody else's prospect because they fit in alignment with what they're looking for and who they want to work with and demographics or similar interests. But really having a good understanding of who you are and what you're interested in, make your list of ideal business partners. Wade asked me to do this a few months ago, probably about 12 months ago now. He's like, just drop a list of all the ideal characteristics you're looking for and all the ones you don't want. And then you can look through, your history and your leaderships and the prospects and just see, well, what you've got in your business. And I could really see that there were some very unique characteristics that kept coming up that I wanted to attract and find people that when I'm speaking to somebody and I've identified that, I'm like, okay, this person is now in my bucket. They're someone that I want to spend some time with, get to know. I'm willing to invest some energy because it might take a couple exposures for us to really get to the place where we're making a long-term connection into the business. So leading by example is a really good way. If you're looking for the ideal person in your business, be that person, emulate that person, and you're going to attract others. So always look in the mirror first and foremost. But I want to talk about 3 characteristics that you should be looking for so that you know that you've got a good prospect. Number 1 is good attitude. It's not always what someone says, but how they say it, right? So people with great attitudes, you just want to be around. Are they complaining or negative, or are they positive and excited? And that's a really, we've all done that. We've gone to parties, or we've gone to events, or we've listened to a speaker, or we've turned on a link, and the energy that we're getting from the person is so flat, or it either turns us away. So that is generally not a person that you're going to lean in towards. And sometimes we fool ourselves. We realize this person doesn't have a good attitude, but we still invest time and energy. As I've gotten more mature in my business and in my network marketing career, I start to realize that you kind of know from the beginning if it's going to go somewhere. And I just now more trust my intuition, and also I trust these characteristics. And if they don't line up, I just don't work with it. So I'm a big fan of Ray Higdon. He does some really great stuff online and value-added training for network marketing and for sales in general. Check it out. But he says, if someone asks me in a nasty tone if this is a pyramid, they have more likely disqualified themselves from working with me because I am picky, and so should you be with who you spend my time training. Right? It's one thing to be skeptical or ask inquisitive, but when someone's negative, you're needing to kind of battle your way up against someone's negativity rather than someone's skepticism, very different. It really, question, is this where I want to be investing time and energy? So good attitude is the first thing I look for in somebody. And if they don't have a good attitude, I won't bring up my opportunity or the product because it's just too much work. I've seen from experience, it drains me, and I would prefer to put my energy and life force into something that's good, gets me excited, gets me motivated moving forward. So first thing you got to look for is people with good attitudes. You want to work with them. Number 2, coachability. This is massive. Are they willing to listen and follow suggestions? Or do they just want to do it all themselves? Which is fine. People that do them all themselves, sometimes that will work out, but generally, it's much faster to learn the skill set and learn the curve here on going from amateur, like 1A, 2A to 4A to 6A and beyond, when you have a coach and a mentor that's willing to spend some time and energy telling you what to do and then you going and doing it. So do they take suggestions and act upon it? Do they follow up and keep their word with agreements? I'm from day one asking people, I'm coaching and giving assignments and homework, and the people who don't deliver on that or don't follow through very quickly lose my attention because I realize they don't have what I'm looking for to build a long-term dynasty team with. And ultimately, that's what we're looking for. You want to be doing this for a decade, so you got to have the right team on the board. So if you're not, just go back to the draft. Get out there and keep asking and keep looking for other people. Are you into personal and business development? If people aren't willing to really move out of their comfort zone and be coachable and learn and go find that on their own behalf or get excited when you show them something, you might want to question that this person's not going to have what it takes to really go the distance with you. So number 2, coachability. Number 3, needs, pains, or desire. Before you present your business, you simply have to know if they have a need, desire, or pain in their life. Right? If your prospect is comfortable, most people are comfortably miserable and not willing to do anything about it. Then they're probably not going to work very hard. Dissatisfied people are what we're looking for. Dissatisfied people with hustle are the gold. Wade found both Siha and myself, and one of the things that we had in common where we were experiencing pain and we had a desire to change that. And that became really clear, through our conversations and so forth. So when I'm talking to other people, when I see somebody they're comfortable, they're not really, I don't see why they would do this, maybe for entertainment, but, it's not a health thing, not a money thing. I realize, what, this isn't going to be a fit. This person's, as soon as it gets tough, they're going to move on to something else. So when I'm prospecting, I'm looking for somebody that's going through a bit of challenge, right? And somebody that's proven it in the past that they got hustle, so they've been successful at something else they've done. Siha, for example, with his financial business in Washington State, successful past. So obviously, the guy's got hustle. When I look for different people in my business, like one of my leaders, Rashek Lightwan, has built retreat centers, organized other businesses. He knows how to do it. So I found him when he was looking for a new project. So dissatisfied people with hustle are the gold in this business, right? You ask key questions to uncover this before you pitch them. So good attitude, coachability, and identifying that they've got some kind of pain and we've got a solution to fill it. That's my ideal prospect when they have those 3 things going. And then I just want to add one little thing, tip for coaching, right? See people for who they could be, not where they are. We are never our circumstances or obstacles. We are always poised for greatness to make a major change for the good, even if going is tough. People believe in people, they can feel that. So when I identify I'm going to work with somebody, I see the potential in them. I see that they're coachable. I see they got a good attitude. I see that they've had success, or they've got a burning desire that they're really going to go for it, that I know that they can do this. So I'm going to invest and coach with them, mentor them. And in the beginning, I think I gave away my time very freely, and it got I kind of got burnt out a little bit. Nowadays, I'm much more cautious about who I want to partner with in this business. Are they worth it? And you should be asking the same question for yourself. Be the type of person you want to sponsor first and foremost, so that your sponsor is stoked to have you. And then you go and find that type of person in your business and hold that space for somebody of where they want to be. So if I see that a person can really do this and they've got the characteristics that I'm looking for, I will hold a vision for them that sometimes might waver for them. And that's cool. It's very different than trying to pull somebody along that doesn't want to be there or doesn't have the skills to really figure it out, because the drive and the motivation and the attitude, the mindset isn't there. So for coaching, believing in your people, working with them, and getting there. Leaders invest in people, so be sure you're investing your time with the right people. And when you find those people, you can duplicate and show them the exact same thing to do with others. So once again, you're building that AAA team all the way, and you're showing your other leaders, building leaders or finding leaders, you commit and go for it. So looking for great attitudes, coachability, and there's a burning desire, something's wrong in their life, and we've got something that fits it. So that's what my 3 characteristics of an ideal prospect are. Wade, I'm going to send it back to you for some comments there.
Thanks so much, Krill. That's some great information there. And we want to qualify for people is always he said a key thing there that was holding a vision for somebody as opposed to dragging them into it. So one of the things that I think is really important when identifying people is see people as they can be, but also see where they are and try to provide the tools and information that might go them, or the words of encouragement, but make sure that they're able to meet you with the effort that you're going to put in. I'll work with anybody that's willing to put the effort despite where their skill level is. We can always coach people up, and there's nobody on this call, there's nobody in this business, there's nobody in our organization that can't be mega successful in this business. But make no mistake, success leaves clues, and those clues are the willingness to learn the skills that will pay you the money that you're worth. And when you learn them, this is a great business to do it. I've seen amazing transformations in the health, but I've also seen amazing transformations in people and what they've become and how they much have grown. And you will grow, the amount you grow will be correlative with the kind of income you make and the amount of people that you touch in the business. And speaking of people who touch people in the business, I don't know of anybody else that's better at this topic than Mr. Seehaw Top. I mean, everywhere he goes, he's a radiant light. He's got an innate ability to what I call the likability factor. People just love Seehaw. But there's a specific set of skills that he actually employs to do this, and it seems like it's unconsciously competence, and it probably is, but there was probably a time where he had to learn them. So Seehaw, you want to talk about that a little bit tonight?
I do. Hey, thank you, Wade. Thank you, Krill. That was awesome. Really to the point, really concise. What I love about this is, people always ask me, how do you get to know somebody? That's the most important thing in building a relationship, is becoming their friend, getting to know them, asking them, the right questions. I always try to relate myself. I try to find something that I can relate myself to the person or the prospect or the new friend that I'm trying to make. Can I relate it with where I was from, where I've visited? When I was young in the finance business at 19 years old, I had to help people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s and beyond trust me. I had to earn their trust. And for me, at that young age, well, I traveled quite a bit with my parents. We drove for vacations and looked at and visited other cities and stuff like that. So at a very young age, being in trying to connect with somebody, I always ask where they're from, where they grow up, what brought them to this area in Bellingham, to be particular, back then. And then when they would tell me about it, I would pick up on little clues. They would ask me, why did I move up here? For the recreation, for school, for whatever it was. So you can find out a lot of things from just talking to people and trying to find out, where they're from, what brought them here, where they're going. So past, present, and future, you know, for them. If you get to know their past, present, and future, you can help. Put yourself in their shoe when they're talking, and when I'm asking somebody, you know, what did you do in your, what did you do before you came, before, you know, before that, whatever they're doing, their job or their work or whatnot, I'm trying to just dig. I'm trying to get them to open up with me. And the key for that success really is, it comes down to listening. You know, I know you guys hear it a lot, but that's what it is. It's just really stop what you're doing. Don't think of anything else. Be in the presence of that person and listen to them, and listen to what they're saying, and feel them. Feel what they're trying to communicate to you. Is it, you know, and then try to get their energy to, you know, to match your energy. If you're, of course, you don't want to be sad, you don't want to be depressed, you don't want to, if they're in that state, you want to get them out of that state, because you want to befriend them, and you want to, you know, you want to bring them positive vibes. So that's what I try to do, is I try to get to know the person by their background and where they're going. A book that I would recommend is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a really good book. It talks about, you know, becoming genuinely interested, like Wade was saying and Creel was saying. And that's what I would recommend, is reading communication books, or communication, you know, how to communicate and how to be a better leader. I like coaching books, just like Creel used a lot of examples tonight on coaching, you know, on sports. So I guess I would share with you guys, become their friend as fast as you can, learn as much as you can about that person, see what you can do to help them, you know, use real live stories. For instance, I've got teammates and you've got teammates, and we're meeting people from all walks of life. How can we bring them value? You know, are they struggling with relationship? Are they struggling with finances? Are they struggling with health? What are they struggling with? And what do you have, you know, in your, you know, Enagic portfolio that can help them? Because this is the Enagic Kangen lifestyle, or what we're trying to introduce them, and move it along that way. When, you know, if they have, Creel was saying, if they're against multi-level marketing or pyramid schemes and this and that, yes, you can decide for yourself, do you want that challenge? Sometimes for me, I do want that challenge, because I was at one time that person who said, you know, get that away from me. I don't want to know anything about network marketing, multi-level marketing, this and that, because I didn't understand it. And now that I understand, all businesses is network marketing. It's just networking. And so I can explain to people. So I take on that challenge when somebody, you know, may not have the right idea, because I was once just like them, and look at where I am today. I learned about it. Like Creel said, I was coachable, and I wanted to have a better future with it. So pretty much that's all that I have to share for you guys tonight, is getting to know people and being real, being genuine.
Great stuff again, Siha, and thank you so much for your continued efforts. By the way, both Creel and Siha are getting close to their next rank bonuses, so the teams are pushing hard. So if you're in Siha's or Creel's team, do what you can to make those extra sales and try and put in a couple more trifectas. They're very, very close to hitting their new ranks, and we want to see them go across the stage. So it's all part of the team effort, and one day everybody on this call will be in the same position, and you'll understand that they'd never asked for it, but I want to put a shout out there for those guys. And I'm going to talk a little bit about understanding personalities and how to build a team. And this is something, you know, sometimes people get kind of so locked in and laser, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for, but you realize there's a lot of people that bring different personalities and different characteristics that can create the magic of an organization. And to give you an example, a lot of you have learned the bank system. That's the, you know, the blueprints, right? And then the A-type personalities, the actions, right? Then there's the nurturers, and then there's the knowledge people. And it's the four basic categories. Some people in different personality typing talks about, you know, the whale and the shark and the dolphin and the sea urchin. And whatever format that you're using, you can understand that. If you're into personality testing, you can do stuff like Caliper or Colby testing, Briggs and Stratton. These type of things allows you to understand, first things first, you need to understand your own personality. And I think in one of the earlier sessions I talked about Peter Drucker wrote a little 50-page book. You can get it online. It's called Managing Oneself, and learning how you learn, learning how you work, learning how the kind of environment, and kind of building and understanding that. And when you understand yourself really well, what you're going to find is you're going to start to understand other people if you take a little bit of time to learn different types of personalities. So in the bank format, for example, you'll understand that a blueprint guy needs all the details. He needs to know all the things. He needs to structure this and fit that. And there's a great place for that. So for example, if you take a guy like Creel, is very much in the blueprint zone. I'm going to use the examples of these gentlemen because they're awesome leaders themselves. So the kind of information gathering that Creel needs to make a decision is very different than the kind of information that Siha needs. Now, both people are extraordinary at the business, so when you're providing information or going through the process, you realize that a guy like Creel might take 6 months to a year to jump into the business, where a guy like Siha might take 6 minutes to jump into the business once he gets it and moves on. And you have to also recognize is putting people together that understand each other. So in other words, you know, the nurturers, the nurturing parts of the crew, these are the people that are going to glue your business, and there's so many great nurturers in our organization. And Magic has a lot of nurturers. It's the care people, it's the people giving the hugs, it's the people that are going to show up to the event. And when you're doing events, these are the people that make things. I'll look at a guy like Alain, who does, he's in 6A in our business, and that's how I met Siha. He provides his space. He's always making the place nice. He makes everybody feel welcome. He's Mr. Caring. He drives people out to Enagic. He drops water off for people in other organizations. I mean, the guy is just Mr. Nurturer, and he creates an environment that allows a Creel, that allows a Siha to really shine in that environment, right? Then you have someone maybe on that's like on the knowledge side, that's like you take an Antonina, who's extremely bright, and she learns so much information. She has so much data and expertise on the water and on the Ukon and on various components. She adds an air of credibility to the organization and to the business. So each one of these team members, who are great leaders all on their own, when you put them all together, you have a team. And so when you're starting your organization, you know, you draw out your Christmas tree, you know, your 6A, your 6A2, your 6A, and your 4s and your 12s. And there's a numerical side to it, and then there's an emotional side to the business. And what that means is if you're going to pick a team, you can't have all center icemen. You got to have left wingers and right wingers. I'm talking hockey here. And then you got to have defensemen, and then you have to have goalies. And different personality types fit your organization. So try and see people for the value that they add, and also see where they may not have those strengths, and have them partner and work with people who have those strengths, or leverage that. And that's the power of group dynamics. That's the power of being part of the Enagic family. That's a part of why we created these webinars, and you know, the differences between us as leadership styles and who we are and how we build teams. But we're all building this together. And for you guys that are out there, I want to encourage you to find people who offset your skills, who have a different skill and a different personality, and that's going to cause, it's going to allow you or invite you, if you will, to grow as a person, to grow as a distributor. And when you start to see the value and strengths of people, and maybe where they're not so strong, you can help them by putting the right people with them and working with them and allowing them, and also leveraging maybe someone to help. You know, if you've got a blueprint person, maybe they need to talk to another blueprint person in the group to get that aha moment. Or if you've got an action person, they need to talk to another action person to make that aha moment. Or a nurturer is going to come to the group because they see other nurturers and they love the nurturers, and that's part of the deal. So just remember, think yourself as a general manager of a team, and you're putting together the ultimate team, and people are coming in, people are going out and stuff, and you want to put that all together to kind of create your magic. And I think those that's managing yourself, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Very, very, very critical books for being successful and doing a little personality testing. We recently did a test called Caliper, very revealing about my own strengths and my own weaknesses and my own liabilities. And when you see these type of things and you see other people's reports, it really just takes all the edge off everything. So with that, guys, I want to open it up to any questions and bring my two gentlemen back here, Creel and Siha. You come on back. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're going to go quickly. If anybody has any questions, now the time. Someone is making some noise like potato chip bag or something. Well, thank you, Callie. Great to have you on board tonight. I think we got the chip bag sound taken care of, or if that's what it was, I'm not sure what it was, but thanks for bringing that up. Do we have any other questions? I know we got a lot of people on the line tonight. A big shout out to a whole bunch of people. We got Ashley and Donna. Hi guys, how you doing? Amelia and Carla. Hey Carla, been a while since we've seen you. Great to have you on the calls. Krista, I see her every day. That's a great thing. So great to have you. Landon, of course. I love this guy. We have a numerical agent, MI29651. Michael, hey guy, how you doing? Great to have you on board. Ursula, Paul. Look at those people. Roger and Savita, Robert. Rishek, hey, welcome back on the grid. Welcome, Rishek. Great to have you on board. Samantha, Sandy. I'm going to check real quick. Any more questions, guys? Do you see any more questions?
Don't see any
If
questions.
not,
I was going to give a little announcement. There was a great video that came out this past week, a new Kangen water demo in 10 minutes. Roger posted it on his Facebook, and so did I. I think a really good one if you guys want to check that out, because in today's shrinking ADD cultured world, having something that for people to check out in 10 minutes that gives a lot of great information is super valuable. So please do become aware of that new tool.
So
I want to share something really quick. Yeah, there's another announcement I'd like to make, please. This Tuesday at the Homestead Golf and Country Club, the Seattle office manager, Katsuya, is coming up to teach and train for us at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. So everybody is welcome, across the board. Come on in and get your questions answered. Anything that's related to the Nagic Corporation, we have an office manager here, whether it's from, the time frame, the product, global, anything here. Katsuya is absolutely amazing. He just goes on and above for our teams. I just want to thank him, but also invite you guys to take up this opportunity next Tuesday, right across the border in Linden, there at the Homestead Golf and Country Club, 6 p.m.
And I think tomorrow night here in Vancouver, I believe our good buddy Roger Gadet is going to be presenting, I think.
Hey.
And he does a great demo. I'm excited to see it. It's been a while. And by the way, Roger and Sabine are growing their business exponentially. Amazing story, and can't wait to. So if you're in the Vancouver area, you definitely want to come out to that. And of course, mark your calendars. 6 weeks to go. The big convention's coming, guys. No holds barred. No prisoners taken. We're all going to be there. We're going to celebrate. We're going to try and find a place where we can all fit all of us into one spot where we can get an expanded picture of the PH Alliance. So we're not sure where that's going to be, but find us. We're going to pick the date. We're going to pick the time. When it all happens, we're going to get a great picture, and I can't wait to do it. So with that, guys, I just want to tell you all, there's always ups and downs in the business. There's always challenges. There's always goals. There's surprises, both good and bad, that come in the business when you do this. But I can tell you, it's worth it. It's worth the effort. It's worth pushing through the pain. It's worth growing past the challenges. It's worth getting past the no's. And I'll tell you why. Because sooner or later, you're going to be in a place where you're going to have made such an impact in the world from what you've decided to do and what you've shared. And the blessings that come back from you in the terms of friends, in the terms of personal satisfaction, in the terms of time, in the terms of economic abundance, is really, really worth it. But in order to get there, you got to work, you got to grow your skills, and you got to make some adjustments. And that means where you put your time, where you put your effort, where you put your money. And so a lot of people say, if you say you can't, or whether you say you can, you're absolutely right. and that comes from Henry Ford. So why not say that you can? You're here. This is the time. You said yes at some point, and you were right. Now let's take that yes, put it to action, and turn it into a hell yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Let's do this. All right, bro.
See you
All
all
right,
next
guys.
week, guys.
See you next week.
Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye for now.